do something different instead of just talking to you um, randomly, just talking to you randomly, or making this like a complaint session or a fuss session. I thought I would talk to you about, my experiences in life, or as an entrepreneur or business person. My goal is to inspire you guys. Um, while I talk to you guys, and then this is for entertainment purposes too. But I wanted to let you guys know about my experiences as an entrepreneur, a black man being being an entrepreneur and a sports entertainer, and that's what I am. My name is Lucius White. That's what I am. I'm a sports entertainer. I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm a content creator. Um, Let me kick some knowledge to you guys. Laziness kills ambition. Anger kills wisdom. Fear, fear kills dreams. Ego kills growth. Jealousy kills peace. Doubt kills confidence. Let me go in another direction with it. Confidence kills doubt. Peace kills jealousy. Growth kills ego. Dreams kills fear. Wisdom kills anger. Ambition kills laziness. Keep that in mind. If you like this video, I want you to give me a thumbs up. I want you to give me a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. This is my channel. My channel is actually called the Missile Dropkick Wrestling Association channel. What is the Mr. Dropkick Wrestling Association? It's a professional wrestling company that I own. Um, and I also own a wrestling school. I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a second. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Um, Man, let me start with me. As a kid, I felt like I was always destined to do something great. I was always destined to do something great. Guys. Um, and I also wanted to do something great in the future. As a kid, I didn't do good in school. I had bad grades. Flunked a couple times. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I graduated on time. I graduated from high school. Graduated for the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. I graduated from high school. I wanted my parents to see me graduate, not just high school, but beyond. I graduated from college, community college, and then I went on to a university. Graduated from in a university, and then I went on to a media arts school, a media school, Specs Howard Media Broadcast. But I, as a kid, all I wanted to do in the future, as a kid, all I wanted to do was I liked the cartoons. I like cartoons. I like um, I like cartoons. I like um, being movies. Being like wanted to be an actor one day. And the third, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. Those three things. Those major three things. Um. So as time went on, as time went on, I got older, still held on to those three dreams. But the biggest thing that I wanted to do was be a professional wrestler. You know what I'm saying? I even I even nailed to my knees and asked God, God, I want to be a pro wrestler one day. I just want to wrestle for the WWE one day, you know. So I went on to school, and I went on to Eastern Michigan University, and I just gave up the idea of being a wrestler. I said, man, that's so far fetched, but nothing's far fetched, right? Until I seen this one-legged wrestler on TV named Zach Gowen. He was wrestling for the WWE. I mean, he was amazing. This skinny little kid. And I said to myself, if he could do it with one leg, he had one leg, because he lost his other leg, I think, in cancer. He had cancer or whatever. I don't know the full backstory. So, but he lost his and so when I graduated from college, I went on to try to do a little acting here and there, but it was something I said, I'm just not feeling that. I have to stay true to myself. So let me try to find a wrestling school. Um, I found a wrestling school in Coldwater, Michigan. Dan Saverin, this he used to be a famous wrestler slash MMA guy. He used to be in the ultimate fighting world, but he also was a professional wrestler too after his fighting days. And he ran a school out in Coldwater, Michigan. It was so many hours away from where I stayed at. Um, it was a cool school, but one, it was just too far. And then I finally found a school that was closer to me back home. I'm from a small town called Inkster, Michigan, right? So um, I went on, found a school, a wrestling school in Warren, in Detroit, in Detroit, East Side, right? Well, at the time it was on the East Side. It was called the House of Truth, True Martini School, wrestling school, and so I attended that school for 12 weeks. And guess who I met at that school? The one-legged wrestler Zach Gowen. I met a lot of cool guys at that school. It was a few guys out of Chicago that was training at that school at one time, and I was I was from Inkster, so I was going to school. I was going to that wrestling school at the time, and I think at the same time I was trying to do a little acting on the side too. Doing a few commercials here and there. Was I was an extra in a couple movies. You know, um, and so finally I finished my wrestling school and got on the independent circuit and wrestled for different smaller wrestling companies and stuff like that over the years. Gained some knowledge in the world of professional wrestling, and I was wrestling for so many. I was wrestling for a few promoters at the time too. I learned how to promote. I was like, man, if that particular person can promote, then I can promote. Uh, it was crazy. It was crazy. Um, so um, I even had an opportunity in 2017 to wrestle for the World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE 205. You can look it up. My name was at the time I only wrestled one time for them on TV. A lot of guys always be extras for them. They don't get a chance to even sniff the the ring, be on the wrestle on their program. But I had that opportunity to wrestle for them. I think my name was Benjamin Boone or something like that. They didn't see the. I think the thing was at the particular time they was trying to get another person on that show, but Vince McMahon didn't let them do it because it was the 205 show was like a cruiserweight show known for guys like my height. I'm 5'6", but I'm built up a little bit. I look like the part as a wrestler. And so Vince nixed that deal, and he allowed me to be on their TV instead of the other guys. So they didn't have time to change the name on the graphic. So my name was Ben Boone against Cedric Alexander. Look it up. Anyway, that being said, I had a group of friends, wrestling friends that um I linked up with every month. Black wrestlers, whole bunch of black wrestlers. I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking for a plug because I don't want this. I don't want this broadcast to die out on me. Anyway, I trying to see a plug here. Oh, I see a plug. So anyway, we all of us black wrestlers got together and we watched pay-per-view wrestling, WWF at the time, pay-per-view wrestling. And so all my friends always was saying we'll get together and always talked about um they talked about their experiences in wrestling, and they even talked about different white promoters, how they ran things and this and that, and how things used to be on the independent level of professional wrestling. So one day I said, hey, when we all, it was like what? It was like one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, about 8 or 9 of us that got together every month to watch pay-per-view wrestling. I said, when we all get together and make and create our own promotion. I mean, we always sit back and talk about the other promoters, the white promoters, how they don't do this and how they did this and how they did that. And I was like, I used to tell them, I said, hey man, if they doing it, we can do it. Why not? I said this a few times. And you know what happened? Crickets, right? But I thought to myself, you know what I thought to myself? I said, I will probably out of everybody, me will step out on faith and start their own wrestling company in Michigan, black wrestling promotion, you know? And that happened. That happened. I started, what I did was, and then nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. I had to learn how to be an entrepreneur. I had got my LLC. I had to learn how to be an entrepreneur. I had to learn how to book shows and stuff like that. So way before my first show, I had started wrestling school, and I was running. I remember running the school out of my boy's backyard. I had got a loan at the bank, got a loan at the bank, and instead of going online and like purchasing a ring, I had a ring actually made. That was stupid. I wasn't thinking. I should have just went online and got a cheaper, I got a ring. But anyway, I had got a ring built. It was crazy. And I me and my one of my good friends that wrestle for me now. One of me and my good friend's father went out way in the boondocks. I asked to pick this ring up. This ring had to be the biggest wrestling ring ever, the Andre the Giant ring. So I remember, going out there, and I asked my boy father. I said, "You got your protection on. You got just in case we run into trouble." He said, "I always keep it on me." So I remember him helping me and load the ring up in this big old U-Haul. It was crazy, and taking it back, and we stored the ring over um, at his house. And now to think of it, that wasn't the first ring I got. That was the second ring that I got. The first ring I did order it online, but it was a 12 by 12, and it was like the cheapest ring, And then I eventually had it welded into 1616. Anyway, I was training people in the backyard, and I was trying to collaborate, and the only person that entertained the idea of collaboration or allowing me to try to do a school was it was a guy I used to wrestle with. We both, as me and this other guy, used to wrestle for the original Sheik's father, Eddie Farhat. The original Sheik used to run in Detroit. He got put in the Hall of Fame by the WWF years ago. But the original Sheik, not the Iron Sheik, but the original Sheik, they used to, I think he used to, I don't know, spit fire out or whatever. Um, so I wrestled for his son, and so it was another guy that used to wrestle for him too that went off and did it, got his own wrestling company, and he was in and out of these buildings. And he was in one building that it didn't stay up the cold, so he got kicked out of that building. It didn't stay up the cold, but it was one building I was trying to. We was talking about bringing the school over to his building. Well, it didn't happen because it didn't stay up the cold, but one of my good friends that I used to watch pay-per-view with. Not saying any names. I'm not gonna say no names. But one of his friends used to watch do pay-per-view with. I said, hey man, I revisited a conversation I had with him. I said, hey man, why don't we put in some money and let's do this. Let's do our own school and wrestling shows. But my experiences, especially with us as black folks, we don't work too well with each other. I'm not saying all of us, but I'm saying a lot of us don't work well with each other. And I felt like we talk too. I don't like doing a lot of talking. I like action. You know what I'm saying? I like action. And so, you know, he heard I was trying to collaborate with the other guy, and he got mad about that, saying I gave the ideas and this and that and all this. I'm like, it's been so long, I don't even know whole gist of it. But anyway, he got over it. So I finally ran my own show. I decided to do a show in my hometown in Inkster at the Inkster Complex. I sold out the place. We sold out the place. That 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 was one of the best shows. I'm talking about not in terms of storylines and all that stuff, but I'm talking about we packed the place at the Booker Dozer Recreation Center. Just in case you guys want to look stuff up, at the Booker Dozer Recreation Center in Inkster, Michigan. We sold out that place like that was my first show. I remember booking boxing there. It was amateur. It was like the kids boxing, but we couldn't, they had to wear headgear. If you didn't have no judges, you couldn't we couldn't sanction that as a real boxing show. So we had a couple kids do the boxing to open up for our show, and then we had what else? We had the karate people open up, and then it was us, professional wrestling. Of course, I put myself in the main event, but because I was a hometown kid, and I remember doing that, man. I was like, man, I gained so much confidence and all that. So after that, we did other shows. I was booking other shows. A lot of that was with my own money. I was funding it. And I tell people, I say, hey man, if you got a dream and you have to look at the resources God has around you. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have faith that God is gonna, you know, help you with it. Because all the dreams that we have, like all the endeavors in the dreams that we have in life and we have right here, God is responsible for putting those ideas in your head. It's not you, it's God. So we need to act on it. That's faith. So never doubt yourself and never doubt God, number one, because all our dreams and ideas, a lot of dreams, I'm talking about good ideas and dreams, come from the one above, right? So you have to act on it, no matter what. So that's what I was thinking. Like, if I'm a child of God, I should believe that He's going to help me. So I started doing more shows and more shows and more shows. And then the COVID hit. I linked up with a WHPR in Highland Park TV company, RJ Watkins. If you guys don't know him, look him up. He allowed us to put our shows on their TV and start building. It was a lot of, like, when you run the business, a lot of money, a lot of, you know, rubbing shoulders with different business owners and uh trying to convince people to collaborate with you, to sponsor you. I haven't had a sponsor yet. I haven't had one sponsor yet for a show. All my shows has been funded out of my pocket. Seriously. That's rough, man. But for the grace of God, He allowed that to happen. Um, so then I started running into politics. Um, I started running into politics. There's some people in the business that shouldn't be in the business. They just buy their way into the business, and they don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. They don't know how the wrestling business goes, but they want to have a lot of influence on it because they got this. It was these two brothers that came out of nowhere. I don't know where they came out of. They start putting their money into different companies or whatnot. I'm getting somewhere here. So this is what happened. I ran to a friend of mine, um, who had a lot of pull had a little pull in wrestling. He was on some type of committee. It was a street fair in Troy, Michigan. They do street fairs every year in Troy, Michigan. It's a big thing, a way big thing, right? And so what happened was, he contacted. Oh, I know what happened. I, I wanted him to do something with us at one of my shows, but then he gave me an idea. He said, I, "I'm on a committee of the street fair, and he allowed us to be on the street." Like, so what happened was imagine a street fair with like rides, um, animals, food, concerts. He asked us to bring wrestling there. We did. It was a 3-day weekend, all wrestling. First show was a Friday night, 7 p.m. Second show was a 3 p.m. and a 7 p.m. on a Saturday. And a Sunday, we was rocking it. We was killing it. 3 years straight. We was killing it. So all of a sudden, we got bumped off by this other guy who bought his way in the wrestling business, and they started running it. Him and his company, where he put money into, start running their own shows. To fact to this day, they advertise a lot on Fox 2, TV 2, you know. So they kind of bumped us off, and the wrestlers that was wrestling for me, one of the wrestlers, one of my main guys was like, Lou, what's going on? Did they call you back for Troy days to run shows? I said, man, no, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I was asking for more money, because they would pay us. Actually, the Troy days, I didn't have to fund that. They paid, and I used that money to bring in wrestlers and pay the wrestlers or whatever. Well, the guy who brought us in, I guess he got bought out, or somebody, I guess the guy who bought his way into the wrestling business was paying him to bump us off and bring his wrestling company to Troy. Well, he started, the guys that used to watch pay-per-view wrestling with, guys I used to link up with, man, he started to pay them to come wrestle on those shows, on those street fairs, those stuff like that. And I was like, damn. And my boys that look like me knew I was running there. And why would you jump on with him and run with him when you know what the dirtiness would just happen? It was wild, man. Wild. This is some of the stuff that I had to learn as an entrepreneur, as a promoter. This is that's called politics. When you, like, what I'm saying, that's called politics. I was a little bit hurt that my my boys, that they knew what was going on. They knew about this one guy that bought his way into the wrestling business that was shady, but they still wrestled for him. Let me just tell you, he was funding a wrestling company um about a year or two ago, and him and his brother tried to skip out and not pay the wrestlers, and him and his brother almost got beat up. The wrestlers and stuff blocked the door so they wouldn't run. And I think police was called. And I was like, dang. And he had a lot of heat. But the same guy that had a lot of heat in the business, a lot of wrestlers forgot about that and started wrestling him. I don't have no trouble getting guys to wrestle for me and work for me. I run a good reputable company. So we're doing good on that aspect. But this is some of the politics I had to deal with. I'm just telling y'all what y'all got to deal with when y'all doing business. This goes with every business. Just know and watch out that there's gonna be some shadiness, in the business. You know. Um One thing you gotta do as a promoter or as a business owner, don't don't do don't do dirt. Don't do dirt or get involved with anybody in your, let's say it like this. Don't do dirt in your profession that's that you're involved with in the profession. In your profession, like let me give you an example. I knew as a promoter that I was going to book a lot of women. I was going to book a lot of women. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't mess with the women. They're pretty, beautiful, but I can't mess with them, especially as I had to keep everything. Um, I had to keep everything professional. So it was one particular woman that I liked years ago before I met my wife. Women wrestle, one woman wrestler, long time ago. Um, but then when she seen me again, then that's when I was married. I I kept seeing because I seen her on shows and we kind of flirted a little bit, but nothing real serious. This, mind you, this is before I got married. Flirt and all that stuff. So now I'm a promoter, right? I'm married. I asked her, "Won't you I finally said we finally got the numbers together, and I said, hey, I'm talking about pay wise. So why don't you come work for me? Finally work for me." And I told her, and you know what the funny part about it is. I usually when we bringing women in to wrestle, I usually have a referee. I usually have a good friend of mine or a student that's training in my for my wrestling school pick up the women. I don't want to have nothing. The only thing I have something to do with is telling them, talking to them about the show, money wise, storylines, and that's messaging and all that stuff. But this particular day, nobody was available. Nobody was available like day before the show to pick up this woman wrestler, so that I had to pick her up. So as soon as I pulled up, I was like, I'm married now. She was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? She was disappointed. So I said, hey, I'm just gonna take you to I'm gonna take you where you need to go to the store and all that stuff. I'm gonna drop you right back at the hotel. She gave me a hug, gave me one of them long couple seconds hugs. And I said, hey, won't you come through? I said, no, I can't. I gotta go to work. She said, well, before you go to work, get a bottle of red wine or whatever. Okay, didn't go. So I had a couple other my wrestlers that was a tag team. I said, hey, I'm gonna need y'all to do me a favor. I need y'all to keep her busy after the show, so she won't be all over me and stuff like that. Everybody, it's crazy. Everybody after the show. After the show, all my guys wrestled and the crowd left. After the show end, everybody helped me put the stuff back on the truck and stuff, and then everybody bounced. She stuck around. I said, she said, I need you to change. She was like, I need you to change my flight and this and that. And I said, Ronnie, I can't change your flight. Well, I need you to take me to the airport early. I said, well, take an Uber. It ain't no Uber going on. I said, you killing me. My wife she gonna kill me or whatever. So I finally had to tell my wife, look, I gotta take one of my women wrestlers back to the airport. I was in a doghouse for a while, but I'm so glad I didn't try to do anything or whatever. That's lesson number two. Don't don't get involved with anybody that you booking to be on your show or in your company. That be the worst. The worst. So that was crazy. Look, but the wrestling business as a promoter, it ain't been easy. One thing I learned about is take everything people say with a grain of salt. Don't count on anybody. Count on yourself. Count on God first and count on yourself. I'm getting the misleading thing. The misleading thing Uh, so how can I do this? The misleading. Let's put it like this without revealing somebody else. I know somebody that's real close to me that supposedly owns some property um, in Atlanta. Supposedly owns some property in Atlanta, right? Owns some property in Atlanta. Say, hey man, once you can, I know the mayor, and then we gonna do this. We can bring your wrestling company down here in Atlanta. Blah 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 blah. He kept on telling me he's the one that brought this up, and so I finally was like, yeah, let's do this. I got my wrestlers excited. Say, hey man, we're gonna bring my company to Atlanta and we're gonna do some shows. Sometimes you gotta realize people talk a lot of good game, but they don't follow up. I have a friend who got a lot of pull back home in Inkster. And every time I see her, she say, hey, we're gonna get this funding for you and this and that. I work for the city hall, which she did work for city hall. She had a lot of jobs and stuff, but all she do is this. Cause all I hear her do is say, hey, I got people money and I can do this. And I got a little pull here and there. But she never, what about me? I just listen to her and ask, what about me? Help me out. Misleading. Um, Look, guys, I got a lot of stories. I got a lot of stories I can tell you guys, but I'm gonna leave this to another episode or whatever, y'all. I'm gonna leave this to another time because honestly, I'm out of town and I'm on vacation, and I just I wanted to get away and kind of, but you know, I have a lot of stuff on my mind. A lot of stuff on my mind. And I, I'm still wrestling, and I'm still promoting, and I just it's hard, especially with vacation. It's hard to get away, right? So I had to like just come down the lobby and wanted to, instead of just like kind of venting and stuff. This is the way I wanted, somehow, some way I wanted you guys to kind of like, maybe y'all can learn from what I'm saying. Y'all can learn, and this for entertainment purposes too. But we're gonna do another we're gonna do another video like this, and on the experiences as a promote as an entrepreneur and a content creator or a business owner. But I believe we all need our own, especially us black folks, man. We need our own. We need our own. You need to run your own business, and you need. Here's my advice before I let you guys go. Here's my advice: do something in the tech world. Do something you like to do, but then do something in what's what's the future is about. The future is about is techie stuff. We need phones, right? I'm holding a phone, right? We need phones. So do something in techie world. Or look, I'm doing something with drones. I'm studying how to fly drones, and I want to get my Part 107 license so I can do something with the NFL or the NBA or something. But I still want to be a wrestler and a wrestling promoter. You get what I'm saying? Do something you like to do, but then do something like, get like some type of trade or skill that's in demand. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Get something that's in demand, but then at the same time, if it's something that's not in demand, it's something you like to do, keep that on the side. But find a way how to make money with all these, with the things that you like to do. Find a way to make money, right? One thing I want y'all to do, I want to advertise my wrestling school. My wrestling school is called the Missile Dropkick Wrestling Academy. Look it up, mdwawrestling.com. If you wanna if you want to become a pro wrestler one day, you can sign up with my school. It's $1,500, $500 and the rest we'll we'll work out a plan. And check us out online. But we're gonna do another video of these. This is kind of like my podcast type of deal. I kind of did a few podcasts here and there, but I wanted to get away, get out of my hotel room for a split second, and I wanted to, like, you know, talk about my experiences as a sports promoter, as a promoter. But we're gonna do another one of those videos. If you like this video, push subscribe, put your like button up, and I see you in the next video, y'all. Y'all take care, be safe out there.